All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Ran Out of Talent. I'm Joe Zer Jr.
This is Greg.
This is Marshall.
And we're going to
Miko's
jump right
here,
into
too.
this one. Yeah, Miko's here too.
He's going crazy.
We took about a month and a half break because, well, we're all just extremely busy with things.
Yeah, my bad, guys.
Yeah, well, I was...
Nice work.
You know what?
I needed a break.
What's nice is since all the series have ended, all the summer series have ended, I've been racing on a weekly basis. And that's what I've been busy with.
How does that feel?
It feels nice sometimes.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? Sean let me start out one of his Friday nights a couple weeks ago because he had to go do something. And after not doing it for a month and then doing that again, that was a blast, too.
Yeah. You can't lose.
No.
You.
I'm really enjoying myself in the RC world right now.
That's good.
So yeah, Greg not so much.
What? I like it.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
All right, we got some breaking news right off the bat.
That's right. So after a little bit of racing here at Sean's this weekend, had some discussions about a big race. There's been a lot of desire for a big race in Minnesota, and it sounds like we're going to have a newly starting annual race, the Sub-Zero Challenge at the 510, and we are looking at doing that on
January 17th, 18th, and 19th.
So it's actually the 18th and 19th. It's going to be
17th.
the 17th is going to be a regular club series
cool.
race.
Cool.
So if you want to get there early for practice or whatever and get a club race in, you can.
Okay.
But then the 18th is going to be probably 4 quals, 3, 4. We'll leave that up to Sean. He's right now him and Han between both.
It probably depends on turnout.
I don't know. I mean, I think we're going to probably play that by ear, and then we'll run AAA mains on Sunday.
That sounds great to me.
Very good. Now it's time to see if these guys from Wisconsin and Illinois and Iowa will make good on their promises to say they wanted to come race with us.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted a set date.
Yep.
And this is definitely giving us that set date. It's going to really, it's right there in the middle of winter. I think it's a great time for everybody in Minnesota because if you do like racing on-road, there's been a lot of on-road racing at that point in time.
Yep.
So you may have that desire to go run an off-road race for a little bit.
Definitely.
And
It's after the holidays.
Yep.
So
Yep.
all of that, everything that entails is in the past.
Hey, you know what's also good for me? It's the week after my daughter's birthday, so I don't have to miss it for a birthday party.
There you go.
excellent. So, again, that's going to be the Sub-Zero Challenge at the 510. Expect a lot more info on that coming soon.
It's there are hotels in Becker, Malacca, and St. Cloud, all within 15 minutes too. I'm sure most people will drive back and forth, but hopefully we can attract some out-of-towners.
So this will be the third weekend in January again, the 18th and 19th for a Saturday-Sunday race.
Yep. We'll go through the MNRC finals real quick. I don't have all the information from me. I'm not going to go through the whole last round because, quite honestly, I don't remember a lot of it. That was almost 2 months ago.
It was cold.
Oh, it was cold. It was the first time I took out my pop-up camper. And that furnace works well, but you get out on the edges, it's cold. It got down to like 20, 25 degrees, and that is not pop-up camper weather.
Not really, no.
No. But it was nice. It's way better than sitting in a tent.
Yeah, for sure.
The track was great, but it was cold. I was running 4 mod there. We just did a 4 mod class for the heck of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had broken an A-arm. I was going down to get my car. And then at eye level with me, Tony Marks was coming around a corner. He hit a rock that normally your car would just go over.
Mm-hmm.
This is... it hit the arm in such a fashion the arm shattered. I could see the little shards breaking away from it. It's like, huh.
Brutal.
Yeah. I mean, he just hit a rock.
Yeah.
A little rock. It wasn't a big rock.
Yeah, I wasn't up there that weekend, but I was hearing the stories that the plastic was getting brittle in the cold temps, and there was a lot of breakage, especially on the 10 scale cars. I don't know, maybe the 8th scales were a little more robust.
The 8 scales were better, but they were still breaking at an abnormal rate.
Okay, because I used to run 8 scale up there, and a couple times I'd been up there, it was really cold, but
Yeah.
I hadn't broken the car that I could recall.
Yeah. But anyways, let's go through the series winners real quick. We had new winners this year.
Oh.
Josh Ford won Truggy.
Okay.
Believe it or not, Josh has never won a nitro class at the MNRC.
That is hard to believe.
It's hard to believe, but he always has funky problems. Like, he never has like a motor problem or a suspension problem, like breaking an arm in the main. He just breaks weird crap that you'd never even think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one race it was the pin that held on the clutch shoe.
Oh, jeez.
I don't even know how you break that. I
I
don't
broke
get
one
it.
of those, and I only raced 3 nitro races.
I've never broke one. But he just breaks weird crap like that.
Okay.
Seth Van Dalen won his first nitro buggy title in the MNRC.
Well done.
Yep, Ford won 4x4 SCT, and I'm sorry guys, I don't remember the rest of it. So if I left you out, I'm sorry.
So you ran 4-wheeler at this last race, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I heard something. I just got to know if it's true.
go for it.
Did somebody pass you with 3 wheels on the last lap?
No,
Okay.
no, it was brutal out there, but no, nobody passed me with 3 wheels.
Okay.
Somebody might have had 3-wheel drive and passed me. That's a possibility.
Ah.
No, it's there's talk about.
I heard it was pretty fun running 4-wheeler in that.
It was. There's on the right side of the track. There's a big triple that went. I want to say is about 30-foot triple, maybe 25 to 30-foot triple. And I was barely clearing it with the 4-wheeler, but it's too much for your average 10 scale buggy. It was that layout. You could double single it, but what the hell fun is that?
The fun is when your car continues to run instead of breaking in half.
At the same time, I still kind of miss. I get so mad at the whole nitro idea and the money and things like that, but I still kind of miss like that race.
Yeah.
It's just the fumes in the indoor of that building and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's much less bad there than any other
Indoor?
indoor venue I've been to.
I've never been to another
Twin
indoor
City
venue, I
hobby,
guess.
dude. Twin City
There have
hobby.
been a few of them that I've run at, and there was one in Iowa in Waterloo that was really, really, really bad.
See, and I couldn't do that.
I saw
it's
videos of it. It's
Not
like,
good for you.
No, it just. I remember pitting in the Moto Dome even.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a camper or anything. I mean,
Right.
I could see where if you had a camper and you were only in there for your races and then you left.
Yep.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's also slightly less bad if you pit inside that tower building,
Yep.
Yeah, that helps.
but yeah, it could be worse.
They
It's not
go-
the best, but it could be worse.
It could be.
Dale, the owner of the dome, really had the fans running and all that crap, and it wasn't that
Doesn't he
bad.
run real like motocross
Yes,
races or go-karts?
he
or...
doesn't do go-karts anymore, and he doesn't run races on the indoor anymore. He still does outdoor, but indoor is strictly practice now because he wasn't getting turnouts for both spectators and racers.
He used to run like quarter midgets. If you're familiar with those, they're basically small sprint cars.
Yep.
They're basically a go-kart with a roll cage on it.
Oh.
And so they would race oval on that, and they would have 80 or 65 and I think 110 cc motocross races in there as well. So I mean the building
it's a
is
smaller bikes.
and it was designed to be able to deal with combustion engines
Yep.
running in there. But
You know Brandon Schultz, right? Really tall Brandon Schultz.
Oh, yeah.
Now imagine him in one of those little go-karts. He used to race there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, but anyways, last round was fun but cold. Congratulations to all the series winners. It was a hard fought season for like points and all that. It was
To go down to the last round.
I think there were variables that
Okay.
could go wrong and somebody gets it, but I think it was more locked up second to the last round.
Okay.
But it was still excellent racing all year long.
Good.
It's the most fun I've had as the announcer there since I started.
Really?
Yeah, just the racing was excellent. Watching how fast and aggressive but clean people can be, it was a blast this year. Because usually you get 2 out of the 3. You don't get all 3. So yeah.
Well, kind of leading out of that, I mean,
What?
go ahead.
No, you were saying something. I was
Well,
just going to go on the next thing.
Yeah, I was just kind of commenting on, one of the great things I think about some of the local racing with the Nitro Series. You can see, Seth, who won the buggy, has just landed this new deal for, and you guys might know a little bit more about
Before
this.
you get into that, another congratulations to Seth.
Okay.
Well, this is going to be the Seth minute.
Oh boy.
He locked up the whatever our division point series is for the RC Pro Series, and he went down. There's buggy open. There's like 4 buggy divisions, and he won the second from the highest. His buggy open, and then he went down to Texas to the big Pro Series National, and won the buggy open gig there.
Yeah.
So
he's so not only from the state standpoint, but also on the national series.
yeah,
He's definitely showing locally in Minnesota. We have some nitro racers that can keep up in different divisions.
Yep, and I think that's how we're getting into. He got the 110 gig because just racing the MNRC, he's not going to get it.
Correct. So as I was getting into, Seth ended up landing this deal for the 110. He's one of 10 across the country, and actually it looks like Canada as well. So, there's 10 people total getting to go and learn from Ty Tessman. Very impressive and prestigious type situation.
Yep.
Gets to fly out to California, build a car, it looks like, and
Yep.
a couple of other things with these guys, and learn how the pros actually get to prepare for a race. I know that was some of the things I was seeing on the list that seemed really interesting was, how they walked the track and preparing for a main, things like that, learning how to prep your car. Very.
Yeah, it's a fantasy camp RC style.
Yeah.
And, they're basically getting I think two days of
I think it's 4.
is it 4 days?
4 days.
Okay, so they get 4 days of undivided attention from Ty and Gord, so they're going to learn a ton, and it'll be interesting to see how Seth's racing changes
It's gonna
after
be
having
nuts,
done
dude.
that. This will be very interesting to see.
Because
It'd be really cool to see almost in a way a lot of the on-road racers recently have been doing got onto the national level.
Yep.
And it's really elevated the local racing because of that.
it is.
Absolutely.
It would be really nice to see the local off-road racing get elevated to that same degree.
I'll tell you what Sean, as a Seth's mechanic, has been learning going to these Pro Series races has really helped out Seth a lot too. And now Sean's going with Seth to learn from Gord.
I had actually heard from
this-
Seth that affected the number of people who
Yep.
could go was based on, I think everyone that was going has their own mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Learning from somebody like Gord or Cavalier's dad, what's his name, Lewis?
Lou
Yeah.
Dog.
Learning from him or whatever, that is almost better than learning how to drive.
That's gold. I mean, the guys out in California, a lot of them have motocross backgrounds.
Yep.
And you try to be thorough with RC cars because you want to win, but when you have guys that are used to working on motorcycles, you're thorough because your life depends on it.
Yep.
And so the guys out there, who have brought their motocross knowledge to RC, they tend to be even more thorough and they have more experience with how to make things reliable.
Yep.
Just from that different background. Miko the ran out of talent dog is just kind of patrolling here and making sure we're on the up and up.
Yeah.
He's definitely a bit on the excited side today.
Yeah.
Yep.
The snow is and the cold that we all hate.
He loves it.
He's just gotten into a chipper mood lately.
For once, he's not hot.
Yeah, he's not hot anymore. No, he's loving it.
Yeah.
He wants to go outside. I was actually talking with Avery. We're gonna string something to the porch, I think, because I'm done going outside with him.
Go get a sled.
Yeah,
hook him up.
He's and we have all those deer trails around the house.
Yep.
I'm thinking about like going through there a little bit and almost like plowing them or kind of like setting up a way for him to be able to pull.
I almost hit
awesome.
one of those stupid deer on the way in here a block away.
You got a few of them.
Well, I didn't see any swerve marks, but I did see your rear tire tracks on every corner that led to this house. It was pretty easy to pick out. Look for the two stripes that go way out into the opposite lane and then snake back. Like, yeah, that's where Joe drove.
I was talking to him on the phone. I thought he was going off into the ditch the way he was yelling.
The way the ABS kicks onto my piece of crap Tahoe, it doesn't pulsate like brake and then stop brake. It just prevents you from braking.
Well, it pulses really fast.
The motor kicks in and says, nope, you're not hitting your brake. You're not. It's like, ugh. A lot of expletive words have come out of my mouth.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm not one to promote most cars at all.
Yeah.
I've had bad luck with a lot of cars in the past.
Yep.
And they were all GM related too, actually.
Yeah.
But I've always been a big GM fan, and that seems to have been a big part of the problem, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this Nissan that I've got with the Murano now, one time with Billy Rapogle, on the way down to MMR to race, he decided it was worth trying at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to try and get that car to spin out, and he wasn't doing a very good job. I mean, it was actually holding well until right before we got to MMR on one of the back roads.
Yep.
He finally got it to spin sideways, and it went backwards up into somebody's yard.
Oh, man.
And then he just pulled back out. But I mean, it literally just lost
Yep.
control, and it's really unique, the system on that, where it like senses each wheel individually and like counteracts what you're doing.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think that technology has come a long way since what you had in that Tahoe.
Yeah, for sure.
That's come from Europe, and then it went to Japan, and then it was stripped down and turned into a piece of crap for American cars.
Nice. Well, it seems to work pretty well. So
Yeah. But anyways, off of one scale cars. You know what? When I'm in the one scale, I'm racing too. So that's why you're always seeing my tire tracks.
Always racing.
Well, again, congratulations to Seth. I mean, that is a pretty prestigious thing to be able to land in the top 10 here in the country or whatever for the list.
Yeah.
And get accepted. Is
For sure. That's
amazing.
that's a great thing. He's going to learn a ton. And
Now remember, what you
definitely
learn, you
gonna elevate.
share.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, he'll share 80% of it. It's the 20%
The 20%
that's
that we
important.
don't hear about.
Yeah, the important 20% that's going to keep him a second above everybody else.
Hopefully it elevates everything locally here, and I know having all that racing at 510 right now, and I know it sounds like at MMR on the AstroTurf, it sounds like guys have really been improving as well there.
You can see it.
And getting better. It's great to see the local racing, I think, really pick up.
Yeah.
And if we can get, like this big challenge race, the Sub-Zero Challenge, we got to get that name out there.
Yep.
If we can get a big local turnout, it'd be great to start seeing some people from other states come to a race, kind of in this area. Something similar to what we're able to do when we go to, the trackside races or the Iowa races.
And I don't know what'll happen this year, but if it we do get a second annual one, I'm certain that we'll see guys from other states coming. We saw this in the past back in the mid 2000s when we used to have the massacre. We did that race 2 or 3 years, and even in the either the first year or the second year, we started seeing Chad Dew making the trip and Brandon Rohde.
Oh, wow.
And
Rhodey as a little kid, that was funny.
yeah. So they'll make the trip,
Yep.
and
Excellent.
it'll be fantastic because that's kind of been the gaping hole in racing in the Upper Midwest is that Minnesota hasn't had a big multi-day off-road race that attracts drivers from out of state for years.
Yep.
And
in
I'm
order to
really
do
looking
that-
forward to it because
Yeah.
Milwaukee's not that far away, but Foley's a lot closer.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be
it'd
good
nice
too.
to not
and-
have to make
and,
the trip.
Like we do the trackside thing, and when you go down there, you're the visitor.
Yeah.
There's definitely a home field type situation where you understand how the surface is and things like that, and knowing how things work. Where it'd be great to be able to race. I mean, I still fully intend on doing that all the time. I mean, it's a great race.
And
but to get people to come here as well, to have that back and forth, would be a lot of fun.
Well,
if all the Minnesota 10 scale electric off-road racers came to this race, we could get 150, 200 entries out of that.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get everybody synced up to one thing.
I've heard a lot of people. I mean, I swear almost everyone has said, we just don't have that big race or something like that,
Right.
or we don't have a time to plan for. I can't make every week. I want to do a big race and things like that. Well,
This is
every
it.
week is what builds that track.
Yep.
But if you're looking for that big race, here it is.
Yep.
now it exists.
So now you either show up or you're just a whiner.
Yep. Exactly. A lot of people, that's what's frustrating. A lot of people like to come up with their excuses, but anyways, I want to talk a little bit about the Genesis Midwest the Midwest Championships at Genesis down in Marshall. I had the pleasure of going to that race in early November. And I'd like to just do a quick review. That's what I want to start doing, like weekend races that I'm not the announcer, race director, or whatever for. On here, I'd just like to do a quick review of them, just so people know what they're in for the next one. So,
Yeah, know what happened even, or
Yeah.
maybe what they missed if something they wanted to do next time.
we'll start with the negative, which there weren't too many at all.
With the way that building looks, from what I've seen on Facebook, there shouldn't be any negatives.
Okay.
I mean, he pretty much dropped the bucket with
Here's-
anything, and he shelled out the cash and built a facility around a racetrack.
Yes. But the negatives are small, but they were there.
Okay.
They are nothing to hinder.
You have to drive to Marshall?
Yeah. There's one. That is a boring drive. But who cares about that? All drives to RC tracks are boring. But another thing is the pit spots were a little tight. Just front to back is just a little tight. You could barely move.
Was the place full?
Every available pit spot, like this table I'm sitting at here, this is what, a 5-foot table?
I think
It's either a 5 or a 6 foot.
it's a 6. I think it's 3
I
on
think
each.
it's a 6 foot.
Well, you got half of this for your pits, which is normal, but you had no room front to back to like scoot your chair or this or that.
Okay.
Every spot was full except for like 2 or 3,
Okay.
which is cool.
I think that's just the way it's going to be. From what I understand from talking to Brandon the few times I have, is if he ever got a big national level race, like say the indoor Nats,
Yeah.
that he would do outdoor pitting with a big tent and heat it.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
you can get a good canvas
So
set.
he's got the parking availability or the whatever.
But
the
here's the
extra
deal.
space to do it.
We had unusual high winds at the challenge. That
No, I think that'd be okay with those
You
type
think?
of tents.
You
Yeah,
think?
those are the big, huge canvas tents.
With the zip up sides
Yeah.
or the fastened
Yeah,
sides.
yeah, you're gonna have basically an extension to the building, a temporary extension to the building.
Yeah.
Yep.
Be fine.
let me just quick get through the negatives so I can hit the positives.
You got it.
Many positives. JLAP, awful program. You don't use, use RC Scoring Pro if you're going to do it right. There's that. Now, the announcing was a little bit on the louder side. Borderlining obnoxious. I like
It's Dave Duncan.
Dave.
He's not obnoxious.
I like Dave Duncan, but when you're in a tight battle and then all of a sudden over the loud PA you hear a Ric Flair woo go off, it's like, oh, come on, man.
Now you know.
I mean,
sometimes it's better not to talk, Junior.
Yeah. No, yeah, see, I talk to people, try to improve myself, and it's just, he was using his outdoor voice. He's using his A-scale outdoor voice.
The little bit I've seen of Dave, he has one voice.
Yeah, Dave is a great guy, and I talk
like
to him a lot. It's just...
He was a fun guy to race with.
It was just a little loud, and then...
The attitude that he has, it's always, no matter what, 100% of just excited, fun, having fun racing.
Yep, yep.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
But those are really the only negatives I can think of. Other than that, he had a fully stocked kitchen.
It's food. In place.
Tons of food, different kinds of
All
food.
the microwave
parts and
burritos
stuff.
you want.
Oh, dude, I had to start a Schwann's account because he had these bagel dogs you can only get from
Oh
Schwann's.
man.
Oh, boy.
Oh, each one's probably 1,500 calories, but I eat 4 of them at a time.
Does he have a hobby shop in there, too?
He's got a stocked hobby shop of mostly CRC and X-ray parts.
Okay.
He's got a couple other, but mostly, if you're running pan car, you're probably running a CRC.
What about the AE stuff?
He's got a little bit of AE, but not much. I think it's a distributor thing.
Huh.
But he's got a well-stocked, like, tires. He got plenty of tires, plenty of compound. They had a really sweet deal going on with...
What did he do for compound? It's just one there, right?
Yeah, it's just a 3.0. What's the brand?
SXX or whatever?
SXT. SXT. He had a really sweet deal going, or Dave Duncan, or whoever brought it up, a 2-for-1 deal. You got 2 decent bottles for $10.
Okay.
Can never go wrong with that.
They
Never
got
have
you through the weekend easily.
Oh, I barely put a dent in the first bottle. I have enough for 2 seasons now.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So what's the traction level like compared to, say, the state champs or something like that?
Okay, first off, he put a subfloor in.
Yep.
And it is the
So that's
amazing,
similar to what you got at MMR. Yeah, you got the
but
subfloor.
the track's really clean too.
Okay.
You got to take that into aspect.
So, and that's where I'm getting at.
The
I mean, for
grip
something where you
okay.
only run on-road and that's it, the only cars that touch the track.
Yeah, the grip was high enough. You weren't breaking traction, but you weren't traction rolling either, which is also a good thing.
So you just didn't have the entries to hit the grip level of like the state
Exactly.
champs.
And
Okay.
the grip was plenty. The layout was great. There was not a bad spot.
Everybody hate the rubber sedan still?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. We'll get into that in a second. That was the worst race I have ever seen in on-road.
That's what Brandon
ever.
runs down there. So
Ever.
Did they?
But anyways, there
Did
wasn't
you see him spraying the track with compound?
No, I got there like Friday around 2-ish.
I know they were doing that for a while, or at least, I mean, I haven't run much on-road while,
got it.
but they were spraying the groove, trying to get the groove set with compound, so they would actually go around with a spray bottle and spray it.
Yeah, no, that's a common deal.
Okay.
It's done all over the state, whatever.
Well,
but
I was hoping maybe some stuff like that would make the rubber sedan better. I know everybody in Minnesota. Minnesota loves foam sedan. They just everyone here loves it, and it is
Not
just,
everyone.
Well, you loved it. You had some of the best races I ever seen with.
I
the foam
did well
sedan.
with it, but I didn't particularly like it.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
It is. Oh, yeah.
But it's so fun to race.
yeah.
Yeah.
The driving of it can be fun.
Yeah, I mean the car is, you're basically it's like driving on Velcro.
Yeah.
And it does create good racing. The cars are fast. There's no question about that. I don't like going through tires.
It's
so
expensive.
quickly.
It's pricey.
It's like running 12 scale or pan car.
I remember you'd pull a car off and one side was like, I mean, you wore the one side way down compared to the other.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I was 2 or 3 running a set of tires.
Well, that's the nice thing about
in the
World
sedan.
GT though. World GT, I got 14 runs out of one set of tires.
See,
I would have to say you're not trying hard enough.
See,
No,
yeah,
I am. I asked.
we had
like,
a lot of
weed and stuff.
discussions on
Yeah.
this at trackside.
Yeah.
And we had kind of talked through it, and from what the understanding that I have of it is they aren't necessarily like one running tires, but they're running them and they're recutting them.
Yeah.
So you're consistently getting basically a new tire.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I talked to Weed about it. I'm like, is that normal that I get that much? And it's the mixture of the spec compound and the width of the tire and all that.
See, now they're doing that too. Have you done that? Have you narrowed your tires?
No.
Because I heard that the fast guys are narrowing their tires.
That wouldn't surprise me because every other WGT car I've seen, the rear tires are like
Super
absurdly
fat.
wide.
Yeah. The tire, Tony Block did not. I watched Tony cut a fresh set,
Yeah.
and while on the lathe, he did not narrow the tire.
Okay.
All right.
Because I heard
So-
that they were narrowing was it the
It could-
inside? It must
don't
have
know.
been
Yeah,
the
it would
inside
have
they
to be the
narrowed.
inside.
Yeah, you would want the outside full
Yeah.
size
It could be a tuning option.
to free up the
Yeah.
rear end.
Yeah. But anyways,
Well, also
so,
to improve your efficiency because you're going to have so much rubber with a standard width rear tire
Yeah.
that I have to believe that especially in corners it's going to cause lack of efficiency. It's basically make the car hang up.
Yeah.
In tight corners.
body has a big role to play. I'm a little frustrated because I had a Sophia painted up, then all of a sudden a Gianna's the body to have. You know how that goes.
You know, I'd been really tempted. You know, I mean, there's so much racing right now. There's more racing than you can really one person can do. You
Yep.
really have to pick something.
Unless you're
Or-
John Wida. But
Yeah,
I'm doing everything.
but even he can't do the off-road stuff on top of the on-road. You can make every on-road race, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know, you really, I mean, that's the thing is like, I'd love to do, you know, a little bit more of the on-road. It's just hard to do. It's hard to want to do it when you're also spending time trying to do the off-road too.
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I'm doing the Superior Saturday Racing Point Series,
Yeah,
and that seems like just about enough. I'm hitting a weekend race here and there.
I love racing in Superior
Yeah.
and the people there.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
anyways, yeah. Anyways,
trying to hit the off-road stuff though.
Genesis, so fantastic facility. The touring car race
So
was.
does he keep the arcade stuff at the track or is
No.
that at home?
I think that's at home.
What a bastard!
I know. I.
You would have had Gerton out there for that race if you would have just had the arcade games out
What
there.
are you
He's got
thinking, Brandon?
excitement.
Put
All I
it
had
at
to
the
do.
track.
He's got Excite Bike on the arcade.
Start charging
I just-
quarters
Yeah.
for your arcade system
no
and
room.
put them at the track.
The bummer is there's no real room for it. I'm sure he would if there's room. But anyways, that rubber touring car race, that was some of the best car control I've ever seen out of anybody in my entire life. Paul Lemieux was racing stock touring car because, you know, no one was running mod because not many people in the country run mod anything on the on-road side. I think at the last big on-road race, I forget where it was, there were like 9 mod 12 scales. It's going away. But watching Lemieux drive through that embarrassment was awesome. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Who took second?
I
Was it
don't.
Tony Block?
No, it was Tony Block was not running touring car.
Maybe he didn't run this year.
No, he's been doing 12 scale in World GT. I forget the guy's name. He's another big touring car racer. Not at Lemieux level, but he was. I forget his name.
Trying to think of it.
And then I think it was local guys all the way third through the rest of the Crash Fest. And what's funny was the Wednesday or something before that, Bangle posted a picture of his dented up body saying, you know, oh, this happened tonight at the local club race. And everybody's like, yeah, that was the worst hack fest I've ever been in. It seems like touring car is going.
I think it's just the low bite situation.
It really is, because, like, okay, with the foam, you can, like, slightly put a quarter panel into somebody, and you're not going to spit them out. you're just gonna scrub against each other.
It's hard to believe
If you can manage that, because the speeds are so much higher on foam tire that, in my experience, yes, you can run in close quarters, but it's pretty tough to do without getting into each other, because you get to corners so fast.
Getting into each other and doing what I saw during that race are two different things.
Okay. Yeah.
It looked like they were all just trying to destroy $500 cars. And that's what that race was.
Kaboom.
But the rest of the racing was fantastic.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong going there. It is the best track in the carpet track in the state.
Okay.
I would even dare to say the region.
Yeah.
And like I was saying before, how many tracks do you go to where there's always that crappy spot on the driver's stand?
Yeah.
I could stand anywhere on that driver's stand and be the same.
It was all good.
It's all good.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. The track's a perfect size for on-road. It's not too big, not too small. It's
my understanding was he built it to the same size as, I think, Snowbirds or some other national on-road race.
Yeah,
but I don't remember the details.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no funny ripples in the carpet, which was awesome.
It sounds like he really spared no expense and kind of went all out. I know even Avery on Facebook commented on how nice the track looks.
Yeah.
So it's something that definitely looks like it's worth the trip if you're able to, or if you're running on road or anything like that.
Well, I was supposed to go yesterday, but I ended up having to work, which was why I was at full throttle.
So is he running like a winter series where he's trying to get more people to show up?
Yeah, he's doing a Sunday deal, but every once in a while he throws a Saturday in there. Like I said, I can't. Unless it's a weekend race, Sundays are no good for racing, I don't think. I've noticed that since I've been screwing around more. I have not hit any. I feel more refreshed going to work on Monday, not racing the Sunday prior, if that makes sense.
Weekend racing in general is sometimes hard to do for the people that have to.
But jobs. A one-day Sunday club race, I mean, Friday or Saturday are the race days for me that I like. I dislike Sundays, period. Okay. And it's not just because I got this going on or that going on. Racing's physically and mentally draining. To me, at least.
And fiscally.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's amazing how much you can spend on just a couple little toy cars.
Yeah. You can always play Frisbee golf.
Nah. The racing's fun. Sometimes it's hard. Like you do the month costs.
Yep. I don't even.
I've been trying to be. I have definitely been one to spend too much money at times on racing, and I've been trying to be more conscious of how much I spend, and it's a lot easier.
There's your problem.
It's a lot easier. Well, I mean, I've got other things in life that I'm trying to make sure get happen.
Yep.
And one of the things is just making sure you look at the big picture, though. Sometimes one month you may spend a lot, but another month you may not.
Right.
Yeah.
And you kind of got to average them together, look almost at it like a yearly thing.
No, it's like life.
So
some months are expensive, some aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a new phone, right, Marshall?
Yeah.
Sometimes you do, despite your best efforts.
Did you pay full price or you get a contract deal on that GS4?
Full boat.
Sweet.
Oh, that sucks.
I only had my other phone for 8 months.
So the work deal didn't have any insurance?
Nope.
Oh, that's horrible.
Womp womp.
Yep. So anyways, that's my Genesis deal. You got to go there if you're on road. If you don't go out there, you are missing on the best track in the region.
Yeah, Brandon's passion, without question, is on-road carpet racing, and he poured everything he's got, resources, thought, effort into that place. So it's absolutely worth the trip out there.
Yep. It's just got to get some RC Scoring Pro going.
Jeez.
Actually, a meme I made it around the RC community. And it made its way back to Brandon, which I thought was funny.
Okay.
It says, if you don't use RC Scoring Pro to run your racing program, you're gonna have a bad time. It's got the South Park ski.
South Park, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, what's frustrating is it took everybody like 20 minutes how to fix a transponder issue.
Okay.
To where, like with RC Scoring Pro, if you right click on the person's name, you can solve it within 30 seconds.
So I just have to ask, being a computer guy, are you sure this isn't a user error?
I've used JLAP a couple times.
Because usually with software, if you know how to use it,
That makes it work a lot better.
you're probably okay.
Generally. Yeah.
I know how to use it I know how to use JLAP in general.
Yeah.
Trying to go in and take a extra lap away from somebody or something like that. We're not going to get into that whole story. But I had to have, like at the state champs I ran, and I had to have a lap taken away from somebody. I had to have SKUs come over and talk to me, or come over and show me how to do it. And the way he did it was baffling. It's like, how can you justify digging that far? Oh, it's just awful. It is just awful.
Yeah.
RC Scoring Pro is the way to go.
Select star from racer tableware.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Run
seems
raw
to me like
SQL to make
if that's the
change.
case, though, you got a couple of commands saved in a notepad file on the laptop. I mean,
But still, RC Scoring Pro is just it. There's a reason why it's the #1 program in the country.
yeah.
I think JLAP's even cheaper. If JLAP was a program, that would be the #1 program in the country, plain and simple.
I guess I've seen it run quite a few races where it seemed okay, but
Oh, it seems okay. It
I
works.
question. I guess being a programmer, I question if maybe you just need to know how to use it, or what the
I know how to
proper method is for doing certain tasks.
I have general knowledge on JLAP, and it just doesn't. Everything works close to the same. How about this? It's not as user friendly to the race director.
Maybe, but I know that
Or it's simply different.
that's what we used in Duluth, I thought.
It is.
And I'm pretty sure that Robert Pana and Gary Pana figured it out.
Oh no.
and I raced there quite a bit and don't remember a whole lot of issues.
They have the basic idea of setting up the race day, and they can run the race day just fine. I forget what happened at last year's New Year's Rumble, but it was delayed 2 or 3 hours until Andrew got there to fix the program, because they were just totally baffled on something.
The New Year's Rumble was delayed 2 to 3 hours
Yeah. Last year.
because of a scoring problem.
Yeah. Because of a JLAP issue.
Huh.
That I would have known 100% how to fix within a minute with RC Scoring Pro. Everything only takes about 1 minute to do with Scoring Pro.
Yeah, I must not have gone last year. I don't remember that.
No, you didn't.
Huh.
Yeah. Last year the wife came with me. I'm like, yeah, it should be a quick day. You know, we should be out of here by 4. Huh. Yeah, right.
Miko, leave Marshall alone.
So anyways,
He goes over saying hi. He's not happy with the lack of contribution I've been making so far, so he's over to kind of pet me up
Spectrum Challenge, how'd you guys do?
here. Had a great time. Really enjoyed that race.
This is a fun
Love
week.
it. Got out there, and you know we knew, well, at least we thought we knew the tire situation much better than we did last year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Turns out that got dumped on its head by about Friday.
It was just about time to when you could
Right about
break
when
in more
qualifying,
tires.
yeah,
and
right
you
about
would-
when qualifying started,
Yeah.
everything got turned on its head.
right about that time where it was too late to make too many changes.
Yep.
That was when it changed.
I bet you wish you would have gotten those gold barcodes back from me for the 4-wheeler.
Well, I had I don't know, about
We had
four or
gold
5
barcodes.
pairs of gold barcodes sitting in my basement at home.
Yeah.
And I thought about bringing them, and no, because
No
when
point.
when I went last year, I brought the whole army of tires, and everybody picked on me because I had so many tires. I thought, okay, well, I'll be efficient about it this year, but that caught me out. But it all worked out in the end.
Yeah.
Racing was excellent. had a really good time, and I personally raced much better than I did last year. So, yeah.
DEC main, where were you?
I was in the B of mod truck,
Nice.
the C of four-wheel, and the C of two-wheel.
Well, that's a good job at that size
That
of a
that
race.
works for me. I was in the top 30. I was trying to get top 20 in all three classes, but couldn't quite get there from here. I was close. I was like 23rd in four-wheel and 26th in two-wheel, I think it was.
Did you figure out your four-wheel?
Yeah, four-wheel's good. Yeah, the first day I went down there, I hadn't touched that car since August, and it had a setup that was wrong in pretty much every way, other than the chassis plate was correct. And I had the correct suspension arms on it and the correct shock towers. But
Yep.
once I actually gave that car some love and put a setup on it similar to what they were running there, the car was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg, where'd you end up?
Mod, I didn't even look at either of my cars. Dan Hammond did a wonderful job as a mechanic for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked well. And I think in mod, I don't remember the mains, but I was right by Danny Williams and Tony Sletton.
Okay. So.
And then in stock was the only one I really paid a lot of attention to. I had one good top 8 run.
Yep.
And then I had a couple other good runs going, but it was just a couple bad turns, a couple bad luck items, and
Didn't your eighth place run come in round 4?
it did.
Yeah. So yeah, you finished up strong. That was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. So I had, I definitely had the opportunities.
Yep.
Just didn't quite get there, and then of course right before the B main, I got the news that I had a lot of water in my basement. So my B main was shot.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're using qual points. Did they use 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4?
I think it was 2, and then your tiebreaker was actually your fastest run, I think.
I believe it was 2 rounds. The first tie break was your third best score,
Oh, was it?
and the tie break after that was the time of your fastest run.
Okay.
That was my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The top 30, I bet, in stock was all really, really close. I mean,
Yep.
you're talking a couple of seconds was the difference between a middle of the A and a middle of the B.
Yeah.
So you really, I mean, and I'm not kidding, it was like 2 seconds.
Huh.
I mean, it was so close.
So didn't lawyer Kevin make the 8?
He did. He had a great week, actually. His cars were really dialed all week, and he ran really, really well and consistent. I've seen him lose it before racing, and he did not. He was calm and consistent the whole time. I didn't even see him chewing on a straw. I mean, he was calm and consistent, and did great. And then actually, we've had him on here. Kyle.
Yep.
He was in the same qualifier as I was and had the same bad luck that I had for the first 2.
Yep.
But instead of only getting 1 of his last 2, he got 2 good runs in the
Gotcha.
last 2, like top 5 runs. And
Nice.
qualified, I think, 4th.
Yeah, he started 4th.
Wow.
Yeah. So
And we're talking an A that was better than last year's.
That's awesome.
And that's
Brian
even though-
Bowman won last year.
Yeah, and the A this year was significantly tougher than last year's.
Wow.
Eli Ezro, I think, qualified 2nd or 3rd last year.
Mhm.
I think he probably ran better this year, and he was like 9th.
Huh.
Yeah.
So he, it really was. I mean, the competition level for stock there was just. It was really impressive.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people are drooling over that new Serpent buggy.
I sat and was right next to Billy,
Yeah.
and it was weird. Day to day, I went back and forth as to, I want one. I'm going to get it. And then the next day, I'm like, I really like my car, though.
I think what you're going to see, if it hasn't happened already, is you will probably see some running changes to the chassis and front bulkhead on that car.
Okay.
but
They broke a few of the front ends.
The car has enough speed to make the A because Easton was in the A in two-wheel mod.
And he didn't
And
try
Josh
very
Holmes,
hard.
and Hohenstein made the A in two-wheel stock.
He won, didn't he? I think he won.
Yeah, I think Hohenstein won two-wheel stock.
Yeah,
so
with that car.
Yeah, the car's fast enough. I know that I was hearing that they were kind of scrambling to come up with a setup the first couple days that we were there, but they figured it out like you'd expect. So yeah, the car's fast. I think they do need to make a change or two to the car to make it a little bit stronger.
The front end has some weird screw, I guess, that you screw in from the top.
Yeah.
And I heard that if you screw it too far or something like that, you can weaken the front end.
Okay.
Something breaks or I don't know.
Okay.
You know, I think, again, it's one of those, if you do it right, it's not going to be a problem. Obviously, Easton was running mod and was whipping that car around there just fine.
And it's Easton. You know.
So, you know, I think it's all what you do with the car, too.
Yeah.
But it definitely was an impressive looking car. The way it rolls it had a significantly larger amount of body roll, I thought, compared to the other cars I've seen.
Okay.
And I like some of the A scale type features with the outer caster block type deals. Yep. That looked cool.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely, it's just another option that's out there.
Yeah.
It's cool. It definitely is one of those pure racing. It's not a basher car at all. Well, that's a pure race car.
Serpent scares me as a company, but they've always had fast vehicles,
and that's the big reason I probably am going to stick with what I have for now until I see what happens with this, you know, magical disappearance in the manual.
Yeah, the B5. They're playing the Apple tricks, is what Team Associated's doing. I'm really excited for the B5. We all know it's coming. They can say it's not. There's been speculation that they had the rear motor car ready before the Worlds, but then the Worlds came around, and that threw a whole wrench into the system. That's speculation of what I've heard.
I don't know.
But
sorry, I can't help.
I don't know. I don't care. In reality,
I'm not eyeballing Marshall because Marshall probably knows crap he can't talk about, or he knows nothing.
I know nothing. That is the honest truth. I know nothing.
Yeah. You know, their cars that they have now are winning, and winning against the competition level of what is released. So to think that anything that's going to come out at this point, I mean, it really just doesn't matter.
B3 was winning when the B4 came out, though.
And somebody that's a good driver could probably still win.
Yeah, the only flop I can think of is a TC4.
TC4 was a good car.
It's a good VTA car.
TC4 was a good car.
No, never at a national level. It was never an A-main car at a national level. That was an instant flop. I remember, it was...
The TC4 plastic chassis is only an upgraded version of a TC3.
Yeah,
now, the TC4
was
factory team with the graphite, maybe you could say is a flop.
The I remember at the Thanksgiving
I have
race.
both of them sitting.
Yeah, no,
actually, I know. In the closet right there.
Yeah. I've had them all, and the only good TC4 I had was one that Yari took and either massaged every part or made a new part for, you know, this or that, and it wasn't really a TC4 anymore. It was
the tub
a Yari
chassis
car.
TC4 is really good.
Yeah, it was. It's a good VTA car. I will not argue that, but no one's looking at VTA at a national level.
I would be willing to bet that if you're comparing it to a TC3, the tub chassis TC4 is better.
Nope. They all went back when that TC4 came out.
You remember that slide steering rack in that TC3?
I remember the TC3. I remember at big races, people making the B-main with the TC4 and leaving. I forget who it was. And then they went to the next big race with the TC3, and they would not run the TC4 anymore. I remember that distinctively. Because I remember buying it the day it came out, and then 2 days later hearing it's a big piece of crap.
Personally, I could see it as a decent car. I know that people have had trouble with the factory team one.
Doesn't work.
But at
right.
the same time, I know that works really well as a VTA car.
Oh yeah, it just the car is a competitive, top of the line car. Just never ever worked right.
I think the difference is what are you racing, and a lot of the big things with the sedan is that chassis flex.
You know what though? They rolled with it and they did the right thing with it by coming up with their club spec kit that they're selling the TC4 as now to liquidate everything.
Yeah.
And great VTA car, but I don't know. They got lucky with one drive shaft touring car with the TC3. The TC3, I don't know why that car was so good, but like Greg was saying, the TC4 seemed like just an upgraded version of it, but it didn't work half as well.
I had a TC3. I ran it in modified foam. The car worked well. It was very fast.
Yeah.
And then I bailed out of on-road right when the TC4 showed up, so I don't remember any of the details. I do remember hearing what you were saying, where there was something up with the TC4 where it didn't work as well, but I don't remember why. I think it had something to do with the amount of stresses going through the drivetrain and the chassis.
Yep.
Because we were all running modified touring cars on foam on carpet with 7-8 turn motors and just truly ridiculous amounts of power and traction.
Yep.
So
But,
maybe that's where it was centered, but I don't remember the details.
Also, if you talk to Greg Amendola, he thinks that's the best car ever made. But
He still loves TC4s.
yeah, you know what?
But
Good for
the
Greg.
the TC4 that I saw him last run was very little TC4.
Yeah, exactly.
They're, a lot of it's the carbon fiber and some of the other custom parts that came out. But a lot of that, I think, has more to do with a VTA style of trying to maximize what you can from a spec slow motor.
Right. Like I was telling Joe that I think the problems with the TC4 stemmed from having extreme amounts of horsepower in that chassis on foam tires.
I agree.
VTA is a completely different beast, and
I agree.
VTA you're trying to make as free rolling a drivetrain as possible.
Yep.
And I still believe that shaft drive is more efficient than belts.
And I think your difference is going to again be, are you trying to compare what you were doing then, or are you trying to think like what back then in a 17.5 class or a stock class? I bet a TC4 was fine.
Probably.
Not as good as an X-ray. I did it.
Yeah, the X-rays are. I mean, that's when you're thinking a car that's purely built for everything top notch for racing, and you're going to spend every top dollar you have to get.
Greg, I
and
did
you're going
it.
to get a new one.
I did this whole thing back when all this stuff was new. I did it all. I went from the TC4 because I bought the TC4 because the TC3 was a great car. It really was. And then I went from the TC4 to the X-Ray T2007.
Okay.
And that's like comparing a Traxxas Bandit to a Team Associated B4.2. That is the literal comparison. It wasn't there. But what I was saying before, that was Associated's only real flop, and I think they've learned from it. And I don't think they'd release a buggy.
I don't think after a 10-year period that they would release a buggy that wasn't ready to go.
Exactly.
I agree with you there. After the length of time between a new buggy, there's just no reason to rush something out that's not ready.
Yep. They probably had 15, 20 prototypes almost ready to go, but something probably held them up and they went back to the drawing board. I mean, that happens a lot. Like right now, there was talk of them testing a new ACE scale.
I heard that the other day.
Oh, dude, they were testing one against the other. They didn't know what one was, but it was an Associated.
The thought is that they're testing something.
That was the thought. There was no proof.
Right.
But then when Adam Drake showed up, they quick packed up and left.
That might mean something, it might not.
Yeah, that might mean something completely different.
The person, I've read that thread on, I think it was RC Tech, right? It's grainy video of two cars. You can't identify what the cars are.
Yeah.
The person who posted it said they couldn't identify the cars either, other than one looked dialed, and the other one looked, it was okay.
Yeah.
And the one still pic that they showed was grainy at best.
Yep.
The other story that I heard was the day after Roar Fuel Nationals in Texas. They came back the next day and tested a car. However, the video of that test day, there were at least 2 or 3 other just random people on the track practicing.
Yep.
And every other time I've ever heard of a new car being tested by any manufacturer, it is a completely closed test.
Oh, definitely.
So the thought that Associated was testing something new,
might
would really surprise me. It would really surprise me. So
well, you know what? If they are, good for them.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Neil this year looked great with that Associated buggy, but that's a local level. The buggy's doing good. The 8.2 is a good buggy, but you could always get better. There's I have a feeling we're not even halfway as good as we can get.
Tough to say. That's that's very tough to say. But Associated hired Josh Alton for a reason, and he comes from a nitro background.
Yeah.
So I would not be at all surprised if they've got something on the drawing board and they were testing it. I just don't think it's seen.
Don't
I
you
don't
think that they're
it's seen the
always
light of day
testing
yet.
something though?
Pretty much.
I mean,
Pretty much.
that's their job.
Do you know that Cavalieri probably hasn't had a spec B4.2 since the original B4?
Well, I mean, look, they brought Kinwald back in.
Oh,
And
'cause he's a
Kinwald's not
genius.
a top level racer anymore.
Right.
But you look at what he can do, and you look at the things that he does to his cars. He never put his car down the same way.
Yeah.
He was always making something custom. Always. I remember when I first started racing that first year.
Yeah.
I went to the Nats out in Joliet, and
Yeah.
I actually sat and talked with those guys, and that was while Kinwald was with
X Factor.
X Factory. And I just sat and talked to him. I remember him, he found some parts for me for something. And it was one of those things where the guy was really, really nice. Just genuinely a nice
Kinwald's
person.
cool.
Yeah.
Kinwald's really cool.
And he was willing to answer like really weird off the wall questions,
Yeah.
always trying to help.
It's kind of a weird guy, though.
But you look at his car, and none
Says
of it's
Joe
the
Zer
same.
Jr.
Well,
None of it's the same. His car
I
is
know.
never the same. So I would say they're always testing.
What's weird about Kinwald is, like, I used to sit and smoke with him at Twin City Hobby when he'd go to Twin City Hobby for the big on-road races. There's a smoking room in the back towards the tire wash area. And I'd go smoke with him, but it's just weird looking at him because he looks like a little kid puffing on a cigarette. I mean,
You should see him when he bowls.
He's probably gotten older now since then.
no, he's gotten skinnier because he was out of racing for like 2 or 3 years because he was sick.
Yeah.
We actually had a friend that is a local Minnesota racer who passed away. He's actually a Duluth racer that has the same thing as Kinwald. I forget what it is, but he had a more severe level. Dude didn't even make it to his 30s.
It was a kidney or liver disease. I forget which.
Yeah, his name was Eric Johnson. Marshall might remember him from back in the day, but
I actually don't. to be
yeah,
honest.
he was barely down in the cities.
Okay.
What's funny is when he spent more time in my dad and I's basement because we had no idea who he was until we moved to Elk River, and then we met our neighbors, and then my brother races RC cars too, and then we met him right away, and he was a fantastic racer also. I kind of wonder if it's got something to do with that disease that makes him a great racer or whatever. But, yeah, anyways, but Kinwald was sick for a while at the top of his game. I don't know if he's at the top, but...
I think a lot of it has to do with practice.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at, I am sure that he got more lap time back then than he has now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He used to when he lived in Southern California. I know back in the mid '90s, he lived 2 blocks from the track where they had modified nationals in like
Yep.
'94, '95, and you just. It's a practice based activity. The more you do it, the better you get.
And just last night, Sean, I kind of said something to Sean. It's like, I know that I'm consistent, and I know my pace, and I'm always a half second slower than everybody else. And it's a consistent half second. But I'm always usually there at the end because I don't crash a lot.
Right.
And I just can't figure out that half second. And he said, well, you drive the driving line, but it's how you're entering the corners.
Yep.
And like instantly it like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like, you never notice stuff like that. And it's like, there's so much to racing with a practice and a consistency and being able to go through and like the pros. You watch at trackside, Cavalieri and those guys, they throw their cars down on the track. They've not touched the track. They don't even know the layout. They just walk up to the driver's stand and start driving.
Yeah.
And they're
as far
instantly
as you know,
fast.
As far as you know.
Yeah.
They probably have seen...
They've definitely looked at the track before they put their car down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but yeah,
I
know what you're saying.
They've probably been there. Some of me wonders if they're not there at after hours or before hours or something like that,
Possibly,
too.
But yeah, that very first battery pack that they run, I know what you're getting at.
They're right there. They're instantly
fast.
fast.
You watch them go out, and then like the first 3 laps, they're making sure they got the traction that they think they've got. They're making sure that they can clear the jumps that they think they can clear. They're getting their sighting, their sight dialed in for the the far corners, so they got their vision where they want it to be. And then all of a sudden, boom, they start hammering quick laps.
Yep.
A second faster than everybody else.
That's how they do that. That's why they get paid to race toy cars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's cool, but everything with Kinwald, he was a nice guy when I met him. So that was
he's
really
a great
cool,
guy.
and the racing and the testing and that kind of stuff. It's exciting right now to think that AE is coming out with a bunch of new stuff too.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm really happy with the cars I have, and I really like the cars I have, and I don't want them to be out of date. But it would be really exciting to get a new car, and we talked a little bit, a metric car, or some of the new things, like if they kind of incorporated some of those like A scale type features. And I'd love to see like the aluminum with a plastic insert, so you're not always buying new aluminum hubs or things like that.
Right.
It's like just to get some of the. Some of those newer other cars, like your Kyoshos and things like that, they're more expensive, but at the same time, you can make some of the more expensive parts last a lot longer.
Oh, yeah, definitely. When I had a Kyosho, I didn't have a problem buying the kit, and the plastic parts were reasonable. The only thing I had a problem with was buying the springs that were $21 a pair.
Yeah.
When Associated's about $455. Springs are a huge tuning option.
The nice thing about the springs, though, is generally you buy them once.
Yeah.
You buy one set for your vehicle. Some of the vehicles don't even need all of the springs that are available. But,
no, I know what you mean.
But you buy them once and then you got them. But yeah, some of the springs are very expensive.
That's a frustrating thing. But yeah, you get what you pay for usually.
Just before I forget, before I get too far away from the trackside discussion, because that was a while ago, but it was in my mind right now, so I want to make sure. I just want to big thanks to the trackside crew out there. Jamie Tenney's bought the track from Scotty Ernst earlier this year.
Yep.
And it was visibly easy to see how much better the track facilities were.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was freshly painted. He added new lights in there. The bathrooms were completely clean. They invested in power equipment to rebuild the track.
Yep.
It was fantastic. They did a great job of hosting us like they always do, and a big thanks to all of them for putting that race on. We had a great time. Thank you very much for doing that.
I agree. Thank you. It's almost easy to take it for granted because you just.
Yeah.
It's the same every year. You go out there and everything is done. Everything is perfect. They take care of everything.
Yep.
They did a great job.
Yeah, a clean track bathroom is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many of those.
No.
Yep.
They can get a little sketchy sometimes.
Yeah. It happens.
People want to know about RC10 spec, even though I have covered it many times. We'll do it again. RC10 spec is just that. What's frustrating is, well, you can get some of the new kits at an exorbitant price on eBay now. You don't need a new kit. What I'm going to do is freshen up my classic one with some new plastic. Bob Stormer gave me a personal, because I pre-ordered mine through Bob Stormer. He gave me a personal call, and he was so disappointed he couldn't fill the orders.
Okay.
I heard they released something like 2,000 only. They said it was going to be a limited run.
Right.
But they could have made the limited run a little bit bigger.
There's a complete dice roll on Associated's part.
Oh, yeah.
As far as how many kits do you make.
Yeah, no, it's a guess.
Complete guess.
But the awesome part is there's brand new parts floating out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then those are not a limited run.
Right.
As of now.
Right.
But the parts are going to be, your Gen 1 A-arms, the short A-arms. You're going to have the original shock towers. You're going to have the 6-gear tranny. I'm going to go through my tranny and put the new gears in it because the new gears are machined better and they mesh better and they won't grenade. So you got to have the Gen 1 car. The motor is going to be the Tamiya J motor. And the reason I chose that is because they are cheap. And they are car correct. They really are.
So when you say J motor, is that the Silver Can 540?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
It's not a bad motor.
It lasts a long time. Those brushes are really hard.
Yeah.
If you're gonna run a brushed one, it's a low maintenance option.
Menor actually tested it for me, and he said it's actually not that much slower than a 17.5.
He was running it the end of the year with the mod cars in Duluth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Says he's about
slower, but as a driving skill, he was able to keep in the top 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says it's about 2 to 3 seconds slower a lap than
He was
stock.
He was still faster than 30 seconds. I think he was like a 29 second, and we were running 26s, 27s.
This is at LSRCC outdoor.
on that track.
And he said he was having no problems with any of the bigger stuff. And
Could he clear the triple? I bet he couldn't.
I
No,
don't think he
probably
could.
not. Yeah.
No, that was a double single.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I had him test it for me. I'm glad he did. He's really excited. A lot of people are really excited for this class. But we're going to be using the Reedy 25C pack.
Oh, you mean that one right there?
Yeah. The one that you had a... Yeah.
You know that thing's over 2 years old. So
Yeah,
I'll
battery
cut
over
it-
two.
I'll cut it
You
some slack.
you got your money's worth out of that thing.
Got a really nice bulge in the center too.
I found that batteries are better when they bulge, though.
Yeah, we're not going to go through battery theories because I'm very frustrated right now about some things. But
Hit it 40 and call it good.
if you hit it at 40, we'll do this announcement. I'll go a little deeper.
That'll be new for next year.
I'll go a little deeper into this when it gets closer to the season. But if you're hitting it at 40, you're charging a damn lipo bag or you're leaving. I don't care if you hit it 40.
Hey, I just had to buy a lipo bag. So
Bring
that's all right.
proof of an umbrella insurance policy that you have for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is if you have an iCharger or that
How
whatever
much are those eye chargers?
$350,
Where do you buy them?
A Main or Brandon SKUs,
Okay.
they're pretty nice. They
Yeah,
are
they
really
look
nice.
nice. I know Andrew had one out at Trackside.
Um,
By the way, we started talking about how we did. We missed him and a couple other guys, too.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Andrew did great. He actually qualified right in front of me, and then in the B main, he made it all the way to second. Almost lost it at the line.
Okay.
And then, and again, running that Centro. The Centro really kind of seemed like the ticket there this year.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you, it wasn't bad.
I know. I said no. I'm not switching cars before going out there.
It wasn't bad, but I will have to say that I had to work on mine a bunch from when I got
From what
there.
you had here.
On Thursday. I finally got the car working about the middle of the day Friday. But,
And then there were Danny Williams, Tony Slatton.
Yep.
Neil was out there.
Neil was there.
Yep.
Dan Hammond
Dan
was
Hammond was out there, the mechanic.
there. Yep.
Could you
Cheap-
get Neil
cheap
out of
labor.
bed on time to race?
Yep.
What now?
Can you get Neil out of bed in time to race?
That was apparently
Yeah, he made
hard, it sounded like.
No, seriously, if you're trying
Yeah.
to wake him up before noon,
It sounded like it was pretty hard to get him going in the mornings, I heard.
you know,
Who else was all there? Clayton.
Clayton made the trip. Yep.
Jabber was already out there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can count
Was
him.
it
He's
Chris
local now.
Galuli?
He came on with
Chris,
Andrew.
It's Galuli, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, he made the trip with Andrew.
Yeah.
And Kendall was there.
Hunter.
Hunter Holmberg was out there.
Hunter, actually, we didn't even cover that. He ran really, really well.
He's getting it. He's starting to get it. You can see it happening.
Didn't he make the A in the short course?
Yes,
Yep.
I think he did. Yeah, it was 4x4 short course. It was either 2 or 4x short course. But yeah, he made the A with that.
Yep.
He struggled a little bit with his 2-wheel mod car, but kept after it. But you can see it. He's starting to get it. He still drives very aggressively, but he's now driving 104%, where before he was driving 108%.
Yeah.
So he's
taking it a
he's
notch
getting
now.
there. So yeah, he's making progress. That's great to see.
Yep.
Kendall made the A
Oh, yeah.
in 2-wheel drive mod. He got into the show, so that was excellent work on his part. Yeah, so we had a good crew out there, and a couple people struggle a little bit, but I think all in all we did pretty well.
I think we did good, and everybody, it was a fun race
Yeah.
for the whole race. No matter how you ended up doing, it was a fun race.
Yep.
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 So-
Nobody melted down, so
I don't think so.
it was good.
Yep. All right, let's do this RC10 spec thing. I'll read what I have quoted. It's going to be the Tamai J motor. It's going to be the 25C Reedy Wolf Pack. Open brush Speedo. Rear tires will be Proline tasers with the open cell foam. You have the option of M3 or M4. No cutting up tires and making multi-compound crap.
What?
You want it? If you want to be a jerk like that, run mod.
So do you have a rule that I can't do any modifications to the rubber? Because you should probably call that.
Well, you know what? I'm not. If you can cut up the inside carcass, go for it.
You are allowing that then.
I can't.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not gonna acetone your tires.
Just saying right now, well, you can tell if it happened or not.
Well, yeah, but I just don't want multi-compound.
Okay. I'm just saying set your rule.
Yeah, you're gonna try to cheat
I'm
the
not
system
cheating
right
anything.
away.
I'm not even sure if I'm going to run it.
You will. Front tires will be green groovies. Legal hop-ups will be titanium turnbuckles and hinge pins because those really don't add to the performance of the car.
What about that cab forward body I saw?
That's actually like cab back.
Cab back, yeah. But the one with the big cab.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the J Concepts body.
it's
Yeah.
legal. I'm personally not going to run it because I personally...
So it is legal.
It's
though.
legal.
So far there really isn't a body that's illegal if it's
No.
made for that car.
If it's made for that car. The body, I'm going to run the original, more looking bodies. I like those a
What
lot.
aftermarket parts are you allowing other than
Now
the
listen.
hinge pins
Yep.
and turnbuckles?
You can do the factory team servo mounts because plastic block servo mounts kind of suck. You can put in bearings. You can use the associated bell crank steering kit.
A new one or the
The
original?
new one.
There's a new one? Because I have the original one. Can I use that?
If
The
it's
old
the
school one?
associated.
All right.
It's got to be not the RPM, it's got to be the associated. And that's about it for hop-ups.
And you're still sticking to the no shock tower mods,
No shock tower mods, it's got to be the 2-hole.
Okay.
It's
What
got,
about the standoffs? Can you run like Abbott standoffs instead if you don't want to run the old school ones?
You got to run the car as it. I mean, if
Just
it's not,
asking.
yeah, if it's not on the list, you can't do it.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to say this, but J-Con dropped the ball a little bit on the rims. They made small rims. They made 1.9s. So right now, I'm not making this call yet because I'm hopeful, still hopeful, but I'm probably wrong. that somebody besides JC Racing is going to come out with a 2.2 rim that fits directly on it. I have the JC Racing ones that fit directly on the way the car sits. But for one, the rims are ugly. I'll admit that. They look like the old RPM 5-spoke.
Okay.
Also, they take 2 weeks to get. They're not expensive. They're $18 for your rear and your $18 for your
Set of
full
4.
set. Yeah. So that's not too bad. I thought Associated came out with something. I got excited on their new parts list. It was a 2.2 rim, but it's for the 3/16 axle.
Okay.
So
That's right.
it's for the Associated conversion.
And they also came out with an adapter axle.
Yep.
For the back of the RC10 Classic. So,
Yep.
I don't know if that's a legal option or not, but it exists.
Whatever happens, it's going to be the Associated. There's a lot of people running like Duratrax wheels with CVAs and B44 this. It's not going to happen.
Okay.
I'm not going to allow it. Associated's got their conversion kits that I've seen. And if I allow it, if nobody comes up, if another company doesn't come up with the 2.2 rim that fits directly on, I will allow the Associated adapters.
Okay.
Because Associated in the bag has the adapters ready to go with their new
What's the adapter deal now?
Hi, Greg.
Hi.
How are you doing?
No, you were spitting things out about all kinds of weird stuff.
No.
Look, shiny thing.
I'm just frustrated with the rims. Associated has come up with a full adapter to put a put the 2.2 on rim, and you don't change from dog bones. You don't put on a
hex rim.
No.
Just this old pin style.
Yeah, like the B3 style. But they also are coming out with a rim. They have a 2.2 rim for the RC10. But it's a 3/16 axle size, not the quarter.
Are you allowing the ones that you can just order from overseas?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I'm going to run.
That's fine then. I don't care what else you do then.
But, yeah, that's the easiest thing, but some people don't want to go through the hassle. Which, it's sketchy.
I know that Sean will run them if people show up.
Yep.
So
we should get ours ready to roll.
You should get a few people that you think are going to run this class and get them to show up.
Well, Scott McTaggart's excited as all get out. He's been texting me about once a week saying, "Hey, can I do this? I'm excited, this and that." I know Corey Hins is wanting to run. I know Greg Menner wants to run. I know you want to run. I know I want to run. A lot of people want to do this.
I might run.
Like I said,
That's why I'm asking.
I need a spec class, and I don't want to do a slash class.
Yeah, it seems like aside from at the AstroTurf with Andrews at MMR,
Yep.
short courses aren't doing well anywhere else.
Up at Superior, they're doing okay with the specs. Okay, not.
Okay, yeah.
They're not getting down
like
to the
Sean's,
C main or
He
nothing.
mixed all of them together because
On
we just
Friday.
couldn't get enough.
Short course is a great beginner to intermediate class, but when you take somebody that's driving a short course truck and you hand them a properly set up stadium truck, it's like a light bulb in their head clicks on. Like, wow, this is awesome type situation. And then they, say no more short course.
Yeah.
The best thing short course did for Minnesota was give us time to rebuild electric.
Right.
It served its purpose, and now we got to figure out something to do with it.
So I'll run 2-wheel mod truck, and 4-wheel mod. Just make it nice and simple.
I wish I
go
could
run that, and things would be awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that with my series, is just making it that. But because 3 out of the 7 races, I'm not getting crap for short course showing up.
Okay.
But every once in a while, I can't turn down the extra 15 entries.
Right.
But yeah, next year all short course classes in my series will be provisional.
Okay.
There will be awards, but the free entry for the year will not be offered unless all the races have, like, there were some races where I ain't run 4x4 short course or 2-wheel short course or pro light or, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to be ran at every race for it to count for that.
Okay.
They don't get throwouts. The drivers do, but the class itself does not.
Yep.
I don't know. But yeah, anyways, that's going to be our C10 spec. It's going to be simple. And I hope you don't... To enter the class, I'm sticking by this. When you come up to the computer to sign up, you bring your RC10 with you. Just so I can give it a quick once-over. It's not hard. I just want to make sure nobody's got a red dot engraved to my motor. No, I'm serious. People spend that $55 to have a fast 2-run motor. I've seen it in Mini Cooper. They stomped it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't... People are ridiculous, man. They like to take fun classes like that, and they like to try to stick their foot up the rear end of it and destroy it.
They're trying to win. That's what they do.
They're trying to win by a mile. They're not trying to win by driving.
Okay.
They're trying to win by cheating. Anyways, couple big on-road races coming up in January also. The MMR Challenge is going to be the very first weekend, like 3rd and 4th or something like that of January.
Okay.
Jabber's Lawyer, he doesn't want to be called Jabber anymore. Lawyer Kevin's going to be using my World GT car there.
Lawyer Kevin, okay.
Yeah. We couldn't come up with a good enough name for him, as good as Jabber, so it's going to be Lawyer Kevin from now on.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's a pretty big race in this state. And then the New Year's Rumble is going to be coming up. I think it's going to be the weekend after the Sub-Zero Challenge on like the 24th or 5th. That's always a fun race.
And let's make it a point. The Sub-Zero Challenge.
Yep.
January 18th and 19th.
You know what? You be there, period. It's local racing. You support local racing. Don't be a whiny little girl. You come and you make it. There's no hotel costs for a lot of people, because you're driving back and forth. That's one of the frustrating things. People are like, racing starts at the local level. They sit and they talk about how great local racing is, and they don't show up, and they have every excuse in the world. And 90% of people's excuses are weak. The only thing you should be missing local racing for is work or funerals or your wife's about to divorce you. Other than that, you want to go see that movie? Well, guess what? You could have seen it the day after. You want to go to dinner here? You could have gone any day of the week. You support your local racing.
Laying down the law.
Well, it's frustrating. It really is. I mean, people have greatly supported my series, and I appreciate it. And people have greatly supported the MNRC gig. But for your weekly racing, people aren't doing what they should. They're not. They're fair weather.
Everybody needs to remember why we don't have nice things.
Yeah, that's about it.
This is why we can't have nice things.
We've had the best facility in the country at times, and people, the petty bitching and squabbling. I'm going to stop because my blood's boiling right now.
That's because we're all 12 to 13-year-olds who finally got a credit card.
We are. You know what? When I'm not involved, really, I've learned, like at local club races where I just sit and run my car, I've learned to shut my mouth and be happy.
Well,
Because I'm having fun. I am
Pick your
playing.
battles.
I am playing with toy cars instead of sitting at home doing nothing.
Sitting at home killing hookers.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's always fun. Greg doesn't like killing hookers, but you know.
I pick up a video game for a point. I'm either racing or shooting.
Yep.
Killing hookers is a point. All right. You
No
gotta.
need.
Yeah. But anyways.
But you should support your local racing.
You should.
Whether that's at MMR, whether that's the Duluth, whether it's the out in TC8. What is it? TCHR? No.
It used to be Twin Sea Hobby and Raceway back.
No. What is the club? TC.
Oh, Torque.
Torque.
TCORC.
That one, or whether it's Sean at 510.
Or Marshall, Minnesota.
So yeah, I mean the key is whatever racing you're trying to do, make sure you support it.
Yeah.
People wanted indoor dirt for a long time. They've got indoor dirt.
Yep.
You should support it.
Exactly. And you know what?
If you want on road, you should support it.
Yep, exactly. There's always days where I don't feel like going. Well, not always. There are days I don't feel like going racing, but I do because my entry fee helps.
Yeah.
And
Sean's put a lot into that track, and I know.
For my series to survive, I need 510 to exist.
Yeah. No, you've relied on 2 races being there.
Yeah, Sean has really stepped up and helped my series, and I'm not forceful. I enjoy going there. It's one of my favorite places to go.
We need to. It seems like last year, I think it was the new thing.
Yep.
And I think the turnouts were really good.
Well, yeah, it's a new thing, and then everybody got killed on the diesel, then.
And now this year we don't have the diesel, and
then
it's weird.
people
the turnouts.
bringing up the spec tire thing, which also frustrates the hell out of people. And
Oh, I think
it doesn't frustrate me. I kind of like getting into that debate, except for when I make a point on Facebook, I'm not going to get into it. And then I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and there's 130 comments under my. I don't even read any of it. I don't. Your point, you won't. You know what?
So there's not much of a debate at that point.
Exactly. You want to change my mind? I'm going to change your mind about religion and government then.
Yeah, they. Well, the tire battle there's definitely. I think that's held the numbers down a hair too.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, the fall has kind of extended on. We didn't really have much snow until this last week.
Yeah.
And, people are still trying to do other stuff outside, and also it's before the holidays. People are getting ready for that. And I think what we'll see is after New Year's, if memory serves me, that's when the club racing really takes off here.
Yep.
And it's a positive feedback loop, too, where the more people that show up, the buzz starts going around, yeah, we got really good turnouts, and then more people show up the following week, and then more people show up after that. So
I've been
and yesterday we had a
be
good
part
turnout.
of the group that creates the positive feedback loop.
Yep.
That we're saying.
Yeah. And yesterday there was a good turnout
Yep.
for a Saturday for this time of year.
And not just at 510, everywhere.
So.
Like next Saturday, instead of, I've spent the last 3 or 4 Fridays at 510, but next Saturday I'm going up to Superior to run my World GT car. Because I'm trying to support their Saturday gig, because like I said earlier, Sunday racing to me is kind of dead. I dislike Sundays. So Superior's doing the Saturday on-road, which is, it's not exactly unique to the area, but you don't get too much of it. And I really like Friday or Saturdays.
I dislike Sunday racing when the Vikings are doing well, but
Yeah.
Well, no problem right now.
Yeah.
I'm not having an issue with that nowadays.
No problem this year.
Adrian Peterson just injured his ankle, so there goes our chance of another win this year.
Well, I'm okay with him sitting the bench the rest of the year. That part would be acceptable. Hopefully, he's not going to have to recover from major surgery.
Oh, no, I hope he does. Because you know what? Last year he recovered from major surgery and had the best year of his life.
Yeah, I'd rather him not have to. I'd rather him just come out and do well.
Yeah.
But
No, he does better facing adversity.
What else we miss? Anything?
No, we covered just about everything. Yeah, just show up to your local track, guys. Because you know what? Sitting on RC Tech bitching and complaining and on Facebook, it's helping nothing.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations to Seth on this 110%.
Yep.
Also, Kyle Holmberg and Tony Marks just got picked up by Kyosho.
Yep.
So that's
Same with
another good
Nomadics.
one. Oh, Noah, yeah,
Noah
sorry, I
got picked
missed
up as
Noah.
well.
Yep.
Yep.
So, congratulations to those guys as well.
Team Associates going to have another team to fight with.
Yep. Bring it on.
It's good to see other options out there.
You know what? Now it's time for
people right
Losey
now.
to step up.
That probably won't happen. But
Yeah, no kidding. Losey doesn't give a crap.
That's all right. They still have the driver who's going to dominate this state for most of the time.
Yeah, they have Lindahl.
So, and then they've also
And
got Kendall. So.
Oh, yeah, but... Yeah, okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. I mean, they're only the two at the top of the main all the time
They are.
anyway.
They are. It's just, both of them got to get out and race more.
They do, well,
Kendall's down
neither
in
one
May.
of them are full-time racers, and I heard that was kind of the deal that happened with this Kyosho stuff.
Yeah.
Was Sean was able to remove some racers that weren't racing anymore.
Yeah, well,
and get some of the guys that are out there promoting the hobby and racing and at the local tracks a lot.
Yep, well, I think Jaeger was part of the Kyosho team, but he is now retired again.
Right. Well, it was Thor, I think, was the one for sure, too. So.
Well, good for Sean.
Yeah, so he was able to get a couple of his guys out there, which is good.
Yeah.
So, and they're all...
No, they're all there every
deserving of
week.
it, so-
They're all there wrenching, busting their butt,
Yeah.
actually physically working on the track itself.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things at 510 that's nice to see right now, too, there's a little bit more of that local small kid type atmosphere starting to develop.
Yep.
And if it could get to like the level of what you see with MMR, it would be nice to see those regulars that show up or things like that, that are there too, not just everybody that has to travel to get there.
Yep.
Right.
This year, MNRC had a great little kid thing going too.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
I love seeing huge sportsman classes. There's nothing better for the hobby than the big sportsman classes going down to the B main.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we need.
That's where the future is.
Well,
always.
I actually started trolling Facebook a little bit. There's a newer section, and there were some racers that got frustrated, which frustrated me. It's a Minnesota local Talk for Sale trade group.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want anything they're selling on there, honestly. But I'm always willing to help out and point people in the right direction. Keep them away from Red Cat. I'd rather people buy Traxxas than Red Cat. You can't trust an RC car you can buy out of a mall kiosk.
What is this website?
It's under Facebook. I'll show you later on. But yeah, I just always, because people do ask questions. What should I do? This and that or this? And there are so many people part of this site that have never even seen an RC track.
Okay.
So I kind of troll those
Yeah, that's
groups.
how I got into racing, though. I found the Nitro Series website.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about racing or where it was or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
I kind of troll groups like that, Hopefully some other helpful racers do that. And, you troll sites like that and just try to point people in the right direction. They enjoy seeing pictures of your equipment. On your regular Facebook page, you post pictures of your car. People are like, you're an idiot. RC racing's stupid, but if you post pictures here, they ask you questions. Well, what did you do here to make it like this and that? And it's, you got to
So when do we plan on the next one?
Next podcast?
Yeah.
Well, maybe around the Sub-Zero. I still want to do a live one. Maybe we can do something live from the Sub-Zero Challenge. He's got a little quiet room. We could do something.
I plan on racing at that race, though.
Well, so do I.
I'll be
we'll
there.
see. Maybe we could do something like... If it's going to be a Saturday, Sunday thing, maybe we could do something after racing.
Exactly.
Or
Maybe we could do a Saturday night with
after
the
mains
TQ guys.
with the winners or something like that.
Well, maybe we could do what we plan on doing with the state champs, but maybe we all won't be so angry, overly hot, and frustrated that we can actually get something done.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I could bring stuff out there.
Yeah, well, all you'd really need is a laptop and the mic and
The
something to
laptop didn't really record well when we did that.
Okay.
That's where I think processing power is a little bit more.
Well, yeah, you got all these fancy towers and you're
Yeah, I can bring one with though. That's not a big deal.
Yep. Cool. All right, well, we should wrap this up. We've ran out of talent, so until next time, I'm Joe.
I'm Greg.
I am Marshall.
And
See
we'll
you guys all later.
Yep.